each of these qualifiers. So there's 4 qualifiers, the 4th one. For the top 4 get through, they do placements, and that's what we're casting tomorrow, I believe.
Yeah, and you can see the schedule for all of that on the Copa America website. Again, you can access that through either the Reddit thread or type !brackets, and you can use that to navigate the site. But one of the nice things about that is they timestamp it with dates, so you not only know that it's happening on the 30th, but also around, 6 p.m., 5 p.m. or such. It's such a small thing, but at the same time such an important thing, because, I don't know, not enough organizations do timestamps.
It's legit, yo. We have Drewbie going for the behind the base trick right here. This can be a blessing and a curse. I mean, first of all, it's like it's sneaky. Sometimes they don't have anything looking over there, although most players do know about it. So you can get maybe a surprise drone kill or two. But you could get trapped too, If you have to go down the rocks again, like when you came in, it's a long way around when you usually want to start immediately attacking the queens with 2 Reapers, not just one, while the other one runs around through the bases. Very true.
The other thing about the cliff too, sometimes you see it, sometimes you won't. I do like, again, it's a weird thing, guys, but Hengelis taught me basically that if you put the spawning pole on the edge of your creep, you can actually get full vision of this little ledge instead of having to keep an overload over here. Not that keeping an overload over here is bad, but obviously you'd love to be able to send that overload across the map instead of sitting at home.
Yeah. Now here we have Drewbie. He sent both of his Reapers off to the right side as if to use both of them on the rock edge, but that stops working really fast because the queen, as we saw, goes over there. But he actually sent one home, and usually this is because they're afraid a couple of lings sneak past, and that's also a disadvantage of going up those rocks. If you park yourself in front of the natural, you usually will see if the lings are trying to piece off and go towards your natural. Here he says one Reaper.
I like the CC coming in the wall. I mean,
yeah, it's a big wall.
We see third CCs a lot more common, a lot sooner lately, but this wall is a little bit wider than your average one, so this actually fills up the gap pretty nicely. I don't know about you personally, but I've had a lot of frustrations with building CCs and walls because their grid spacing is like slightly off compared to most buildings.
Oh, right? Yeah. I have to find the perfect wall for each map so far. Like Overgrowth, you have to have a bunker or it's awkward to supply depots.
Yeah.
So I always get a bunker on that map, maybe not in other ones. It just, sometimes it does mess up.
I'm going to give a shout out to one of the viewers today. Dad's Nifa, Copa America is what this turned into at the start of this game. So thank you guys for dropping those Kappas in chat, raising the KPM to an appropriate level. And it's worth noting too, it's only just barely been a week, but there was the Hellbat change recently. The Hellbats themselves weren't changed, but Hellions were given the ability to automatically activate transformation servos without upgrades upon the completion of an armory. So we're starting to see a lot of these earlier pushes, and quite frankly, we should see even more of these earlier pushes. Like, instead of having these first 4 Hellions die with the Reapers, instead keep them alive for Hellbats in the secondary push, the follow-up with Marines with the stim packs.
Yeah. Egg is getting a Roach Warren as well as 2 Mario Chambers, so this Roach Warren could just specifically be for any type of Roach attack. I mean, you can see them just in, like, even before the Hellbat patch, just to make sure that they can deal with these Hellions, because the 3rd is a little bit farther away. But especially with the Hellbat change, some people are saying that you're going to need them. It's going to be more and more common.
Yeah, it was such a subtle, cool thing that just happened, targeting down the larva, knowing that it couldn't kill the hatchery.
Yeah, Scan did go down, and not only the crew tumor, but also saw up the ramp without having to dedicate your Hellions up the ramp. Saw the Roach one.
Yeah, I mean, upon seeing the Roaches too, which I don't know if he's actually physically seen any, but he will in a moment. He's already got Marauders on the way. It's pretty nice predictions of what's coming up. Ooh, gonna lose an Overlord, will Egg. Bit unfortunate there. But Egg's also still trying to spread creep pretty heavily. Ooh, gonna get a lot of larvae on that next blast if he goes for it. Oh no! The Zerglings can't quite find a way around it. I always forget that that's actually a hole at the bottom of this geyser until you build a refinery or an extractor there. That is the weirdest dynamic I've ever seen to any sort of map as far as wall off will go, but he gets out of there with the majority of the Hellions alive. He got quite a few lings roasted in that engagement as well. Wow, he's actually... I didn't look at the resources lost till just now. This is looking a little bit rough here for Egg.
1-1 is going in the direction of missile attacks, so he is going to be dedicating more and more to Roaches and probably Hydralisk. Although, I don't know. There are some players who try and do Swarm Hosts, but like against Bio, but I think it's just roaches.
Yeah, I don't know. Roach Hydra has got its place in certain scenarios. I don't know how well it's going to fare on King Sejong, but the one advantage it will have is it can't always tear down those back rocks if necessary. But the roaches here on the front lines though are so scary to look at. There's no really way to engage this. Not yet, at least.
Yeah.
But the other key thing too, guys, is by keeping these Hellions present on this side of the field, by poking and doing a little bit of pressure, it keeps Egg from sending those across the map, from trying to go for like sniping SVs at this third that was recently thrown down, or maybe wiggle their way into the natural. Drewbie's actually doing a great job of defending by actually being aggressive like this, as long as he doesn't lose these Hellions, because the second he loses those Hellions, that's the signal for Egg to go push a little bit.
As you can see, Drewbie was a little afraid that there was going to be that big roach attack. You know, you get just the roaches that you have, and then hope to do damage, go into Roach Hydra. We've been seeing that a lot. That's why you got a second bunker. It's not going to happen, though. He's going to be patient, wait until the Hydras are out on their way. He did forget to +2 Carapace, which, I mean, this Roach Hydra attack that he's going for, it pretty much has a couple of really powerful attacks at 2-2, and then the Terran has to survive until his own, and then you can start really having the game going, you know, Terran actually moving out and whatnot.
I like that Drewbie's gonna get this brute force of units, but more importantly than that, I like the odd bunkers that are coming down. These aren't gonna do more than buy him a little bit of extra time when engagements start, but sometimes that's all you really need to outlast like 1 or 2 Hydra hits. I like that. The Reaper's like the most useless things at this point, but what they can do is claim the watchtowers.
Yeah, that's 2 Reapers for 2 towers. Pretty useful. Now, these aren't going to be as useful because, you know, Roach Hydra is pretty much just like you're going to walk through the middle. But, you know, if a Roach attack does go over to the side, you'll be able to see it.
I want to see, honestly, more mech involved with this. I mean, Bio is great, but whether it's Hellbats or whether it's Woodamites, there we go, now Woodamites coming out. I'll never forget the days, the first time I ever watched HTO Mario build like 50 Woodamites and walk them into Roach Hydra, drilling claws them down, and just annihilate the army. I don't think that's going to be the situation anytime soon, but their splash damage will never go unappreciated, and even though they can't one-shot roaches, they still deal just a hell of a lot of damage.
I don't think they're very effective against Roach Hydra, honestly. If the Roach Hydra walk on top of them... Well, okay, and even in those big amounts, you need a big production for it as well, and the tank cover too. Like that high Widowmine count's not going to come into effect into a bio.
I don't know. The sooner you tear through those roaches, you get to that nougaty Hydra center.
I mean, there's got to be a reason why people don't go Widowmines against this. They go tanks, and it's usually because like they just one roach tanks a lot of Widowmine shots. You don't have that much of mech production unless you're going for the the roach bio or the mech bio style. The roach bio would be pretty good, I guess.
Right, but that's kind of what I was alluding towards as well at the same time, where tanks are obviously going to be better because they have that constant rate of fires. Widowmines, they fire once, maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, but they're on cooldown for like a minute. The thing for just straight up bio is it doesn't have the DPS. You need that little bit of extra splash damage to go on underneath this. Now, not a lot of damage got done there, but he also managed to sneak past with 2 drops. This is one of the biggest problems for Roach Hydra, responding to this. Look how long it's taken Egg to get back to the natural base to deal with this.
Yeah. Once he was on 4 bases, immediately throwing down something over here is pretty worthwhile because that is going to be a common area of attack, so he does recognize that he needs to do that. Especially since he's going to stick on the Roach Hydra style. Now he had his +2. He didn't have his +2 Carapace because he seemed to have forgotten it or misclicked or something. So his attack that's very powerful before Drewbie has 2-2, it's no longer there. Usually we have that really powerful attack and they do something, anything, and then it's much difficult for the Terran to get back into the late game.
Ooh, this could be a really powerful 3-pronged attack if he does this correctly. 2 medevacs heading towards the main, 2 medevacs to go back towards the natural, but also the primary force, the real goal of this attack is over here on the left side of the map. And with nothing in position to defend against this but a couple of awkward Hydralists, Drewbie should be able to take down this base.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is something that you're supposed to do after they do a bit of damage to your own third. And then you start dropping everywhere with 2-2. And he just was able to do it no problem, like from the start.
Ooh. What happened to the drops? Did they...
He just got too afraid, I suppose. Because you have a 3-pronged attack seems awesome until you realize if you don't pay attention to the other 2 drops, they could be sniped off by 4 Hydralisk.
That is true, yeah.
You could have just figured it wasn't worth the APM, the possibility.
He knows the majority of the enemy's combination here and outside of his own natural. He's got to make something happen. He's got 4 drops heading towards the main, and this could absolutely demolish the infestation pit. If he cancels the pathogen glands, that'll be fantastic. But it'll mean nothing if he loses his entire base at home. Now, there's no overshoes with his army. These Woodamites might actually end up working out pretty fantastically.
There's just enough to take care of what he sent over, so he does have to pull back. But he was able. Oh, actually didn't kill any medevacs. So he's just gonna take damage everywhere and not do damage in return. That just sucks for Egg.
Denies the pathogen gland upgrade. That's pretty huge. Now infestors aren't really an option anymore. Is he just going to turn this into a big doom drop? I thought he was going to drop at the 3rd for a moment there, but just decides to fully doom it up. He goes for the lair, goes for the spine crawlers. The Hydras and Roaches are on the way to respond, but in doing so, opens up the left side of the map for that secondary attack. Oh, he's got to be so careful. He can't pick up and get out of here. There's too many Hydralisks.
He might take the engagement and then just boost out with the medevacs as everything is said and done.
It's a little shame he couldn't get the hive. That would have been a real crippling blow, but he does get the hatchery over here, pushing forward to clean up a lot of the creep, going for the 3rd base at the same time, and he's just waiting to go back in.
Yeah. There's just nothing to fear for Drewbie this game. It just, he's able to play his game pretty perfectly, pretty calmly, and now Egg is down to 2 bases.
But what we're witnessing, guys, is specifically why Roach Hydra, it only works on some select maps. King Sejong stations open to drops in all of your bases from multiple angles at all times. America runs a very specifically good example where Roach Hydra is fantastic because not only is a Terran player you limited by airspace, it's not easy to get around your opponent's base like we just saw Drewbie do. Wow, Drewbie do, where are you?
I'm sure no one has ever thought of that before. That might be true.
Ruh-roh. Alright, well, this is still a large Roach Hydra army that I don't know they can necessarily take head-on, one-on-one type thing. The army supply is not looking too great for Drewbie right now. He's down quite significantly, and as stated before in the past multiple times, one of the best ways to deal with this is just sort of raw power. Overwhelm your opponents. Oh, a couple of mines go off, sadly, on not much. These Roaches get through. Coming in from the back end to try and flank Drewbie. He may have to just give up this base. But actually, the Hydras, why are they attacking without the Roaches? He's splitting his forces so unnecessarily. Egg, man, you had this 100% in the bag. What are you doing?
Not sure he had it 100%, but that definitely was not helping his case. The thing about Roach Hydra is that even though the army value is, higher, like we saw, as soon as the Roaches go out, the army value drips drastically because the Hydras just die so easily. Their army count doesn't really matter as much when they don't have cover.
Okay, granted, maybe not 100% in the bag, but I mean, it was such a small amount of Marines and Roaches that lived on the right. I mean, Egg just got a little too. I think he just felt too pressured after losing those 2 hatcheries. Rightfully so, granted, but
yeah.
Well, that'll be a Terran win here for game number 1.
There's a time where I just started chuckling, and I hope you didn't ask me any questions because I was laughing or trying not to laugh so hard. But it's a South American majority tournament, and it's Arrested Development. And you remember what they did?
Cinco de Cuatro, man.
I'm thinking about the chicken dance.
Oh, cuckoo-ca-cha, cuckoo-ca-cha.
I just started thinking about that. I was like, oh god, no.
Who was the other Egg? There we go. Speaking of which.
Did you forget Egg?
Right. Casters for...
You let her in.
Drewbie versus Egg game 2. I don't know which cast. I know there's a lot of casters in this game, so I want to make sure I don't miss any of them. Alright guys, well we managed to get the stream numbers up to about 750 by now, which is rock freaking solid. I would love if we could crest that 1,000 mark tonight, so do me a favor, if you're on Twitter, hashtag Copa America, retweet us, go through Reddit, whatever you gotta do, spread the word, let your friends know, come and hang out, we're gonna have a good time tonight. Because again, there's plenty of other good games still going on today, but... are we missing any of the casters? I want to make sure we're not missing any casters, that would be a good thing. Of course, nay doesn't help, so any, oops. By the way, specifically to the base trade TV people here in chat, and there's a lot of you guys, love you for tuning in. I asked, because you guys asked about sharing replays from Copa America. They're going to hold on to those till the end of the season, so we cannot share those. I know that's been requested several times since last week, so just put that out there. Replays will remain within Copa America specifically. I think everybody's ready, so let's hope no one's been left out, and I won't get mad, or won't get mad at me, whatever. English. PlayStation, guys. See you in a sec. Welcome back to Copa America. This is game 2, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful evening. This is, of course, 1-0 in the favor of our Terran player. But spawning here in the top left corner of the map, the blue Zerg player. Will he win this game? It's you buddies guess. It's Egg from Furious Gaming.
The bottom right, as the red Terran, it is Drewbie.
I couldn't tell how to check the camera. Did I at least get a zombie grub grin out of that one?
I did. I did.
I put a little bit of extra effort in that one. Again, the
Yeah,
Arrested Development jokes are going to be flying tonight.
I keep thinking everyone just thinks we're crazy, you know? Like, maybe we convince 2 people who are generally, like, amused by us to watch the series, but everyone else is going to be like, stop talking about it.
Right, it's like the one guy who actually knows that a $2 bill is a real thing. Everyone else thinks you're crazy and that's fake money, but there's like the one dude who's been around long enough to know that, oh, hey, that actually exists.
That's a weird simile.
Oh, did you not? Okay, never mind. Being Canadian. Well, being Canadian, I know that Americans had $2 bills at one point as well, but being Canadian.
We still do. We can still use them.
That's not a good start here for latency. But I was gonna say, our $2 bills actually didn't just disappear like yours did. We actually have coins to replace them. I don't know if you know about this, but we have a thing called a toonie.
Oh,
because it's worth 2 loonies.
I did not know what that was called. I did know that you think they're called loonies, and like, because we made fun of you for it.
Yeah, loonies are the $1 coin.
You're so stupid.
Wow! Come on, this is Copa America. We need to embrace all of North America, not shut Canada down. Thank you, America. God.
We just call ours dollar bills.
Dollar bills. Alright, so Drewbie had a pretty good game. It can't be refuted. But I think for Egg, honestly, like he had some pretty crisp build timings, and it wasn't like any of his stuff was really late. He just seemed a little tentative to attack, and the wrong composition for King Sejong. Now, if you wanted to do Roach Hydra on this map, this would actually work really well if it was the other spawn locations. But because it's not, and it's the long distance ones, if he goes for Roach Hydra again, he's just asking to be picked apart by drops, the same way he was in game number 1.
Yeah, I would say the last map, it could have worked. I don't think he did it what he intended to, though. You always see a powerful attack at 2-2 before the Darren's 2-2. And on that map, I can see the benefits in that you don't have to attack into the third. You have those rocks to break down, and you can get them out of position with no bunkers and no siege tanks where they should be. Like, I've seen that happen, and it's a good move. But he didn't do that. He didn't even attack. He just waited until, you know, Drewbie could do a bunch of drops and all that. But this would be an absolutely terrible map. There is no, like, rocks to break down to get them out of position. You know, if they get the third, there's still a tank line that they can kind of cut off and protect the third with. No to that on this map.
Well, Reaper's actually ducking in pretty well here. I mean, getting the drone snipe to start was a good start, but, you know, the idea is, of course, you're not going to get a whole lot done without that second Reaper. Now that the second Reaper is here, the Queen has to start getting a little bit worried. Drones have to be more careful, and, oh, these two transferring at the wrong time. Oh, he's trying to. If he had actually gone for the, I think he thought that was going to be the cancel build, so he didn't bother wasting time going for the drone. But had he would have got another snipe. Dude, Egg, stop rallying drones to your natural. It's not going to happen.
Egg, it's not happening.
Yeah, well, the Reaper's still alive are a bit of a nuisance. The thing, too, is they haven't really done enough damage to start trading with that Queen yet. It would take like 2 more complete trips to actually kill it. And that's kind of why you start seeing the third Reaper incorporated into this. But Drewbie not go for the third Reaper, and I'd say rightfully so. This isn't a bad map for Reapers, but it's not a good one either is the problem. Not in these spawn locations at least. It's different on the other ones because you got that extra cliff to jump in through.
Yeah.
Well, also using the command center for this wall off. This is, I think, the largest choke of all the new maps.
We were debating that. I'm not sure if it is.
I think it is by like 1 depot. I don't know. You gotta take like a tape measure out and start guessing grid marks. But yeah, this one takes. I think it's like 3 depots on one side, bunker, and 2 on the other. Maybe I think. I don't know. Either way, command center is gonna help choke this wall off a little bit sooner, a little bit faster, a little bit more efficiently. We have seen alternative forms of trying to do this, like say the double engineering bays. But you know, this is kind of that map where the rush distance is so long, you don't have to rush your wall off at the 6-minute mark to worry about those roach all-ins. So Drewbie, yeah, he's just taking it slow, taking it easy, not panicking at all.
There is a roach warren though, speaking of roaches. I would be kind of disappointed if he was going for Roach Hydra, not gonna lie. I mean, you can make anything work on any map, technically. Unless there was like an island map, which does not exist yet. 2x island map go. But it just seems like such a bad map for Roach Hydra, or I mean,
I agree. No, it's not even like the terrain to play against it. It's just, again, this is a map that has very big open air space, and then these spawn locations no less too. It's just you're asking to be out of position, 9/10 away across the map, and suddenly you're going to drop in your main. How do you even respond to that? You just don't.
The other spawn positions, maybe it's okay. In fact, we've seen it, and it almost broke Jotchi, I remember.
Yeah, no, I really like Roach Hydra in the other spawn locations. Tefl is a European player from Poland, guys, that if you want to see make good use of Roach Hydra on this map specifically, keep an eye on his games. But it's, again, you're playing against the spawn locations if he's going to go with the strategy. But we don't see him actually go for it. Melee upgrades on the way. Roaches are on the here for the time being to deal with combination Hellions that are potentially Hellbats as the follow-up. And I really like the way Egg's actually opening up out of this.
Yeah. This is a good opener, you know, just because you get the few roaches, and they're going to help out against the problem, which is that the third is so far away. There's no way that Creep Spread and Hellion and Queens can help out against the Hellions. So you kind of need the roaches. Now, unfortunately, does he have anything to protect his natural?
I'm surprised he let those 4 drones go. He could have killed 4 drones, but instead chose a Creep Tumor.
Yeah.
Split-second decision timing. But back at home, Drewbie, you know, he's already got, like, wait. He's actually prioritizing combat shields? Oh, he already did some, never mind. Didn't even catch it in that production tab, jeez. Lickety split. So this is, for those who are unaware, why we're a little bit happier seeing this sort of playstyle to it. Because, well, the same token that medevacs have a lot of places to run around and drop, you're going to, A, need Mutalisks to defend against that. But B, also abuse the Mutalisks yourself to come in from multiple different angles to escape out of the base from many different ways, and you can really use the air to your advantage as a Zerg player at the same time.
Another reason why Roach Hydra are bad, the island map, the island bases, yo. If this turns into a really, really long game.
Don't talk to me with the island bases, we've been over this.
Talk to me about it. It makes me so weak.
I want the island bases to become a critical thing so badly. And the one time, granted, I've ever seen these island bases taken was during Copa America. During that crazy Swarm Host game. If you guys remember me casting that, I went absolutely out of my mind. Crazy. But in the same token, it was kind of cool seeing the island bases actually utilized. But I don't know if we'll see that here today or not. One thing we do have to worry about, though, is for Zerg players especially, all your bases are so spread out. Creep spread, incredibly important. More so than on any other map, I feel.
Yeah. After, you know, pretty much this period, the fact that their bases are spread out won't be as big as, you know, the fact that a Protoss or a Terran's base is spread out. But right now, it's a little worrying. The Creep Spread really isn't that far out. You don't have a lot of units, and of course, you don't have those mutas in case they're doing an earlier drop.
You know, it's a little bit odd seeing the supply depots come down this low, but I guess you don't really want to put up on the high ground either, because you can't build the bunker behind them. This will cover the mineral lines too in case anything slips by, and Drewbie is looking to secure his third right now.
You could just wall it off the bottom. I don't know why he's not.
More depots, man. He doesn't want to get supply blocked.
Well, he's still putting down the same amount of depots he would be if he was blocking.
Okay, well, scan's going everywhere. He sees a macro hatchery in the main, doesn't rescan the third, and doesn't catch the fourth just yet, but I gotta give Egg props. Again, this creep spread is looking fantastic for how large this map is. Normally 11 minutes, you see it about halfway across. It's hard to say that in these locations because this map is so much larger. But now we got those Hellbats. The transformation service kicked in. Bantlings are on the way, and some roaches were retained from earlier. So this is completely within the realm of possibility that Egg holds this off. But he is down in supply, and this is not going to be easy.
These Banelings are not quite ready. They need to run away for now, I think.
Is that speed,
they
though?
all crashed into the Hellbats.
There's a lot of Marines with stim behind this still, though, so the roaches can't really deal with this. Mutila's popping out as well, not going to be the best solution. If you had a second round of Banelings, this would be the perfect area for Egg to engage. You know, the Terran player walks into this third, he gets trapped. There's nowhere to really escape, especially with the medevacs going down. So now forced to fight, we'll see how much damage Drewbie can do. Eats the Baneling hit, though, and now Egg's going to clean this up. But the problem is, there's a drop over here at the north. There's a rally coming across the map, and while he did hold off one attack, it's certainly not the end of attacks.
I believe that's why Drewbie did commit to that third, is because he really wanted these drops to go ahead and kill that fourth. Otherwise, I think he would have pulled back knowing that reinforcements would have been in before he could kill the third. But now that he's drawn the entire army onto the other side of the map, he dodges in here.
And it's just worth noting, guys, like the Mutals are quick to respond, but this would be even worse if this was Roach Hydra. So again, why we were really saying, don't do Roach Hydra. But the base goes down. Mutals may be able to snipe off the medevac. Where are those Mutas?
Why would the spores be in the back of that base, by the way?
It would make sense if it was like Frost or something, because you unload behind the mineral lines, but yeah, not on this map.
It just it seems to be the sole purpose is that they don't leap from the third to the natural, but then they can just like drop your third from the front. I don't know. Seems odd.
Well, Drewbie's production actually looks really nice behind this. 12 Marines, 2 Marauders, 3 Widowmines. Yikes.
Yeah. Yeah, he has a pretty good production. He just took on 2 bases. So Egg is... I mean, usually if their fourth gets canceled or killed, okay, that's recoverable, but not their third as well. It's recoverable, technically,
you know,
it's a lot harder.
Once upon a time, prior to when Hellbats got nerfed the first time, so the whole Blue Flame thing, you'd see a lot of Zerg players really invest in static defense, and where Mutalists would fail at catching drops, the Spinecrawler and the Sporecrawler would buy you the time you need to react. I kind of wonder if that'd be worth adopting that mentality here. I mean, Egg did do it at the third, just in a really weird spot. But he's getting dropped a lot by Drewbie, and with Mutalists, you're supposed to keep that from happening in the first place. But Drewbie's still been able to get it down, not once, but twice. But I think there's like a total of 3 different drops so far this game.
The problem is that while you can play defensively on 3 base and really take your time getting a fourth as a Zerg player, you just risk the problem of them just doing a head-on attack anyways, as opposed to even using the drops to begin with. So it's a tough decision to make.
Really nice Widowmine micro there out of Drewbie. I don't know if you caught that. Unburrows as the Lynx try to trigger all these, but gets on top of the army nonetheless. That's a lot of Banelings rolling underneath us, but don't engage off of Creep Egg. It's the worst thing you can do, especially when there's Widowmines about.
Yeah, those Widowmines got really good connections.
Oh, the
Mutalists! One of them.
Oh, the Mutalists are going down so quickly. This is not an engagement he can afford to take. He needs more Banelings behind this. He might clean this up, but it might have cost him too much because look what's coming on the south side, the left side of the map.
No medevacs. I guess his production isn't exactly 100%, and he has been mindful of killing the medevacs every single time, but it doesn't matter. He needs Banelings.
That's stutter step. There's a single Widowmine here. Odd to see.
Where are the medevacs? Taking their sweet time.
Did he not remake any?
Yeah, I think there was a lull in production for a good while.
Okay. Well, the Drilling Claws coming out is going to be fantastic. For those who don't really know the difference, it's a very subtle difference, but you can actually get aggressive with your Widowmines. Without Drilling Claws, it's really hard to get them down on the front lines in time to engage. Whereas like this, oh, Banelings are on me? Okay, I can actually burrow before I die.
Yeah, and maybe get the hit off before they kill it. As Overlord spots the fourth, and Drewbie, this is how like confident Drewbie feels right now. He's getting a fourth at the location. With Zerg, it is so easy to have 5 Lings go over there and just cancel it. So this is just like, yeah, okay, I'm pretty probably gonna win this series.
Yeah. This is looking pretty good for Drewbie. Spread out really nicely here. There's some Banelings coming on top of this army, but he can't afford to waste a single one on top of a Marauder. He'll hold the base, but again, trying to engage off of Creep, not what you're going to want to do against the Terran player. I mean, even the best players in the world don't want to engage off of Creep versus Terran, and a big part of this because that speed advantage from Creep is huge.
Mm-hmm. This is a very classic defense point on this map. It really brought back the whole, you know, where it was once upon a time when innovation was like his like best in TVZ, where if you broke the fourth, you won the game. So it would literally be like from start to finish, location at the fourth was where you saw all the action. This map's kind of bringing that back. We always see locations like this.
We're seeing such awkward Bailey connects. He's trying to get a couple good ones here towards the back end, but here comes Drewbie's second, third, fifth reinforcement wave. And all the meters go down. GG is called. Drewbie, a.k.a. Duck Hunt, a.k.a. the Kappa Master, will succeed in this best of 3.